Let's give everyone an update now on our breaking news. A 2-year-old child and an adult injured by pit bulls in Philadelphia's Port Richmond neighborhood.
Let's get right to Eyewitness News reporter Matt Petrillo live at the scene. Matt?
Well, authorities were called here to the 3100 block of Agate Street just after 5:30 today. If you take a look behind me, you can see police are still blocking off the street here by Clearfield Street. Take a look right now live on Chopper 3 over the scene. You can see officers appear to be focusing on one house. Now, police tell us when officers arrived here just after 5:30 this evening, they saw an adult and a child being attacked by 3 dogs. Officers rushed in to intervene to help them, but the child right now, officers say, was very badly injured, in critical condition right now. The child was rushed to St. Christopher's Hospital. They're hoping the child makes it, but they're not sure if that's going to happen. Now, right now, we have someone who was an eyewitness to this scene. You heard screams, then what happened?
And I go outside, and then I was like, see a woman, and I see screaming. It was inside in the house. It was a child, and I was like, somebody was outside and don't do nothing. They got a knife, and then I go like, they gonna try to kill the dog, but they can't, and they call the police.
So officers arrived. When officers got here, those 3 dogs were attacking that 4-year-old boy as well as a woman. They got out a gun and started firing at them. 2 of those dogs died. 1 is injured right now. What happened after that?
And after that, they was like, they get out, they're trying to get the ambulance, and they got out the child, but it was hurt. But now they say they dead. The child died.
Okay, well, right now authorities are telling us at this hour that child is in very critical condition at St. Christopher's Hospital. They are hoping he survives. We're told it was a boy, but they're not sure at this point. Right now, officers are still trying to process the scene and collect evidence, trying to get interviews from witnesses like the guy we just talked to. We'll have updates on this later on Eyewitness News.
Mauled to death by the family dogs. A neighborhood is in shock after a toddler is killed by his own pets. Good evening, everyone. I'm Yuki Washington.
I'm Jessica Dean. Philadelphia police are now investigating this tragedy.
The attack happened this afternoon on Agate Street in Port Richmond, and Matt Petrillo is at the Special Victims Unit tonight. Matt?
Yeah, police are calling this a heartbreaking tragedy. Detectives tell us that group of pit bulls lived in the same home as that 2-year-old boy. Tonight, instead of thinking of that young boy's future, his family and neighbors are thinking about his funeral.
No mother should lose their child. Believe that.
Norma Dennis was sitting on her porch here on Agate Street in the Port Richmond section of Philadelphia when she heard this woman running outside and screaming for help around 5:15 Wednesday evening.
I tried to calm her down, but this lady was shaking so much. And then the paramedics came. She ain't want no treatment. She's just worried about the baby.
Police believe the woman was with her 2-year-old nephew inside this home where the boy lives. For reasons police are still trying to figure out, 5 pit bulls that also live in the home started attacking the 2, but viciously mauled the little boy. Police were called and rushed inside when the dogs then came at them.
At least 2 of the dogs charged towards the officers, so the officers discharged, striking 3 of the dogs.
Police killed 1 of the dogs and injured 2 others. Then medics took the boy to a nearby hospital, but he didn't make it.
The baby wasn't even crying, the baby wasn't moving. It's sad. It's just sad that people have dogs like that and don't know how to tame them.
And detectives here at SVU are still investigating, but say that boy's family could face reckless endangerment or child endangerment charges.
The big story on Action News this noon is a Philadelphia family in mourning after a young child was mauled by pit bulls.
Police were called to the Port Richmond home yesterday evening, but they could not save that little 2-year-old boy.
Action News reporter Catherine Scott talked with family members this morning and joins us now live from the scene with more. Catherine.
Sarah and Alicia, this was horrific. The neighbors here are deeply affected about what they witnessed here yesterday. We've been speaking with neighbors this morning, and they said that they've heard barking coming from the home in the past, but they never witnessed any violent behavior from those dogs until now.
Everyone was like, no, there's dogs in there. They're attacking the baby.
Neighbors described the panic and chaos in Port Richmond last evening. Dogs attacking a 2-year-old boy inside this row home on Agate Street around 5:15 p.m. One neighbor explains his wife heard screams and then saw a woman running from the home.
She came out, her arm was bloody, was gushing blood. So my wife grabbed a few towels to try helping.
She also called for other neighbors who tried to rescue the boy, but there was little they could do.
And all of a sudden I just seen the dogs, you know, plucking at the baby and the aunt. And then all of a sudden they kept telling me to go in and get the baby, but you can't because they're surrounded by all these dogs.
Officers approached the home, guns drawn. When they looked inside, the boy was on the living room floor being attacked by 2 dogs. There were 3 more dogs in the home. Officers opened fire, killing 2 dogs and injuring another.
You know, they made a valiant attempt to get in and save the baby under some very difficult circumstances, you know, with some very powerful animals charging you, and they did the best they could.
The boy was already unconscious and severely wounded. He was rushed to St. Christopher's Hospital where he died. Officials say the 23-year-old aunt who was babysitting had bites to her arm. Animal care and control officers took the pit bulls.
Breaks our heart to see the poor little baby was injured and ultimately killed in that fashion.
It's heartbreaking. When I saw that baby come out lifeless, I broke down. I hugged my kids after I saw that.
And police say at this stage there's no sign that these dogs were trained for dog fighting and no charges at this point have been filed.